Coming up in 60, we got Media News number 127 with news on Steve Niles, whose boat has just come in, a Superman director, and why he's not directing the movie. Y the Last Man, we got a big story on that. Tom Hardy and Anne Hathaway, of course, have been cast as Bane and Selena Kyle. We're going to talk a little bit about that, along with Jerry Lewis, and a lot more coming right up. And the hero of the month this month at Alternate Reality is IDW's Infestation event, which covers 4 universes: Star Trek, Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Ghostbusters. And all of my trade paperbacks for all 4 of those universes are 25% off all month long. All my hardcovers, all my softcovers, all my omnibuses, everything related to those 4 universes is 25% off all month long. So stop on down to the store and take a zombie-sized bite out of some savings here at Alternate Reality.
Media news. I think that's what's killing all the birds. And the fish.
Why, it's the most brilliantly diabolical leader of our time, surrounding himself with total nincompoops.
Media News, episode 127. Ping pong gone wrong.
Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video outhouse. It's time
scary.
for
Media news.
that Media News is coming to you from
It's coming from Alternate Reality.
place.
I'm gonna do this for the whole thing.
Alternate Reality, located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood. Alternate Reality, where all new comics,
All of them?
all of them,
Wow.
are 15% off every day for everyone.
Everyone?
JR's back. He just got off the boat.
I did. I'm actually on assignment for the Daily
He
Sentinel.
just got off the boat. Yeah. I don't know, Brett, this Cornet guy.
INS wants to check your passport.
Yeah, and my pants.
Bo's here with, Bo. JR's here. JR's here with all the media.
It's an honest mistake.
Yeah, I can see how you'd make that error. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe give a ball cap.
I haven't seen him in a while. He could be coming in bald for all I know. And our first story up, our first tip involves
What is our first story?
Moon director Duncan
Yeah.
Jones.
Now that the smoke
He's
is
turned down.
Well, he did turn down.
He's turned down something.
He
big.
turned down something major. Yeah, now that the smoke is cleared and Mr. 300 is directing the Superman reboot.
Yes.
Duncan Jones, who was one of the contenders for
Yes.
the Superman film, did an interview recently and said, "Yep, I turned it down. It was offered to me."
Oh, I didn't want it anyway.
No, you know what? He had a good reason. He'd made Moon, which was a
Yeah.
very modestly low-budgeted film, and that's
Yeah.
all he's ever done. And he said, "I could not really take on a $200 million film at this stage." And
In his career.
and expect it to be what everybody wants it to be, so he bowed out of that one. So maybe down the line he'll pick up another $200 million film somewhere, but he turned down Superman is basically what happened. Yeah.
And that's why.
And I turned down Superman too. He asked me on a date and I said, all right,
You're
anyway.
just playing hard to get.
More
Do you like The Walking Dead? Do you like The Walking Dead? Everybody loves The Walking
everybody
Dead.
likes
like 'em
Walking
running.
Dead.
And nobody loves The Walking Dead more than the film industry, specifically the television industry. And as we've reported before, there are many lower-level comic book series that are being greenlit, rushed into production for television series, like Lock and Key,
Yeah.
like Sandman, which
Yeah.
we talked about before,
Yeah.
and like...
Well,
That's called a segue. son.
thanks, but you know
Spell it.
nothing says success like imitation, and
Yes.
with The Walking Dead being a huge success for AMC.
Well, these things that are being optioned aren't just original ideas.
No.
They're ideas that aren't quite as original too.
This bad boy from Steve
Yes.
Niles, Wake the Dead.
Who's a fine writer?
He's a fine writer. This thing has been kicking around Hollywood for 5-8 years now. Joel Schumacher was even attached to this bad boy for a while.
Guess whose boat just came
Yes,
in?
the boat is sailing for Steve Niles' Wake the Dead because now, and an unlikely source has picked this up too.
Yes.
Guns N' Roses guitarist Slash has started his own production company, Comic Book
Thank God. Thank God.
called the subtly named Slasher Films. Has purchased the rights as their first project to Steve Niles' Wake the Dead. And Steve will be writing the screenplay for this bad boy. Jay Russell, who directed Ladder 49, will be directing it. Slash
It's
is
all
making
about-
movies.
There you
About
go.
the history of snoring.
History
Yeah.
of snoring. History of snoring. Well, while lots of projects have been greenlit thanks to Walking Dead,
Yeah.
there's one project that is
Yeah,
in
DC and
pre-production.
this one's kind of a shocker because this is kind of a high-profile project. But Why the Last Man, which has been kicking around for a while too, is officially dead at New Line Cinema right now.
Okay.
The director that was attached, whose name escapes me, and Bo's not here to refresh my memory, came out recently and said, "Yep, it's over and done with."
Rudy, we're bidding!
So, but I think
Thanks, Bo.
I think Why the Last Man is going to be one of those projects that will rise from the fire. Like
Oh,
the
sure. I am
flames.
sure. I am sure. You will be seeing Why the Last Man at some point.
There's there's a lot of grist for them. It's post-apocalyptic. I mean, Hollywood does not balk at anything post-apocalyptic.
Well, especially with Walking Dead, I mean, it's just a matter of time till something like Why the Last Man
Yep.
comes back, if for no other reason than Walking Dead's post-apocalyptic and it's popular and
Yes.
It's got a
there's
monkey.
no
And it's
zombies.
got a monkey in it.
There's no zombies in it, but it's got a heavy female cast,
Yes, it does, and a chimp.
and they could always be hotties. They weren't in the comic, but for the most part,
It's the
but
way
could
they
always
roll
be.
in Hollywood.
That's the way they roll. On Week in Review for January 19th, I talked about how the casting on the next Batman film had been filled with a new Selena Kyle and a new Bane. He's here to give us a little more information about it.
Yeah, you all know by now, all you guys out there know that Anne Hathaway, and you've already gone and you've used your little computers to take pictures of Anne Hathaway and graft them onto tight leather
I'll be right
outfits.
back.
Yeah, exactly. let me open a few doors for you guys. Wow, that was frightening.
Okay, I'm better.
If you look at the official press release from Warner Brothers and Christopher Nolan,
Yes.
it says that Anne Hathaway has been signed to play Selena Kyle.
Yes.
Nowhere in that press release does it say Catwoman. Now read into that what you like, but Christopher Nolan has done everything he can with this Batman franchise
Yeah.
to kind of shatter your expectations about what these characters are and how they're portrayed on screen in a very realistic manner.
Right.
Don't expect a leather-clad Anne Hathaway in this film. There might not even be a Catwoman character. She may be playing Selena Kyle before
She might.
whatever is going to happen to Selena Kyle.
She might.
I think it's real telling that that press release does not say Catwoman.
I think, and I mentioned this in Week in Review, I think that this is a perfect opportunity for him to do his male-female exploration dynamic thing, just like he in the last film with the Joker.
Yeah.
He did chaos and he did order with Joker and Batman. I think this is a real perfect opportunity to do that. And one of the things you need to do if you're going to push Batman to one end of the side, you need to have a woman on the other end, and that would obviously be Catwoman. Although she might not be Catwoman.
Yeah.
Because of the Catwoman movie that came out with what's
Halle
her
Berry?
face
With Halle Berry?
with Halle Berry.
Oh, I would hate to
I don't.
think
Well,
that's
I don't know.
holding back.
I don't know what the rights are like. I don't
Well, that's
know.
Warner
I don't
Brothers
know
as well. They're all.
Yeah, but I don't know if the rights are tied up with someone else who did the
don't
Catwoman
think
movie, and
so.
if they can't get the rights to Catwoman, because Selena Kyle wasn't in that movie.
No, that was not Catwoman in the Catwoman movie. It was
Yeah.
a different character, a completely new character. made
As a
up
matter of fact, in that movie, there was only the vaguest of references to
Gotham
Catwoman
City in general.
having to do with anything Batman mythology related.
I think it will be the Selena Kyle Catwoman in this film, but I hesitate to think we're going to get a costume-clad Catwoman.
Oh, I think at best you're going to wind up with a Lover's Lane type costume, a very low level fetishy type thing that anybody could pick up at any adult.
And we've
costume
said before
shop.
that if Nolan goes with, say, the Frank Miller interpretation of Selena Kyle as sort of this
Well, she was a prostitute. in that.
prostitute, would be fantastic. I think.
Yeah.
Of all the Batman franchises, Nolan's the only one who's really fleshed out Bruce Wayne.
Wayne,
Yeah.
Everybody
exactly.
else was an also ran, so it might even work out better if you give us Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle. He might be able to do something
True.
with that.
No,
Well, at the end of the last film, Batman's an outlaw.
Yeah,
and he's
he's
on
on
the
the
run,
run.
and of course, Selena Kyle, Catwoman, is an outlaw.
Yeah.
So it would make
it
sense.
would make
to
sense, exactly.
hook up.
Now,
Can't second
conversely
guess
to that,
Nolan.
Tom Hardy is listed in the press release as Bane.
Yeah.
I highly doubt Tom Hardy's going to be wearing a Mexican wrestler mask and
I-
getting pumped full of juice.
Well, I don't know. Actually, the Mexican wrestler mask would actually work because that's something that actually does exist in the real world. That is not a big comic book stretch. I mean, the luchador mask is something that's been around since the 40s at least.
Right in some high-end
Mexican wrestling.
steroid,
you could do a steroid thing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know how that fits into Batman being on the run.
Well, no. The thing I mentioned in Week in Review is if you're going to do, male versus female, masculine versus feminine, Bane is the ultimate example of the masculine ideal taken
To its extreme.
through chemistry,
Yeah.
through science to a twisted extreme. So, I mean, it would work in that sense too.
Yeah.
And this is a lot of spitballing. I
Yeah,
mean,
we're just
none of this
throwing
might not
stuff
have anything to do with the movie, but that would
speculate.
seem to make the most sense to
And
me.
this is exactly what Waters wants us to do is talk about
Right,
this. So there
it's
you
fun
go.
to speculate.
I mentioned this in Week in Review. I am very happy with the casting on this thing. Whether or not she's Selena Kyle or Catwoman,
The picture of Anne
you know,
Hathaway's breathtaking.
what,
I mean,
what,
really.
whether or not Bane is dressed up like a Mexican wrestler or not, I'm very happy.
Why
I'm
gotta
very
be
happy
Mexican,
with the
comic book
picks.
man?
Yeah, the casting is great, and that's been Nolan down the line with all three of these films so far.
I can,
Top notch.
you can't second guess Nolan at
Nope.
this stage.
Nope.
Okay, moving on. We got a John Carter update.
Yes,
Well, oh,
there's
is
been
he
some
still on
changes.
Mars? Yeah, he's
Pixar's
on Mars.
John Carter of Mars comic book man has had a schedule change. Originally slated for June of 2012, the film has been brought up a few months to March of 2012.
Okay, even sooner.
In
Have
the
you seen
early
anything
spring,
on
which
it?
which kind of makes Pixar have to work a little harder to get it out there. Now,
Now, is that a release date or production date?
that's a release date.
Release date,
March of 2012. Now,
Okay.
that was interesting enough because Ridley Scott's Alien sort of prequel, I guess, Prometheus, was scheduled for the same weekend.
Really?
And has since skedaddled from March of 2012 and moved to John Carter of Mars' old spot of June of 2012. So they swap spots.
Okay.
Basically. Not a glimmer has been seen of John Carter of Mars from Pixar yet. I'm sure Disney is going to have a well-tooled publicity campaign
Really looking forward
for
to
that
that.
down
We'll
the
see
line.
what they
somewhere.
do.
I'm anxious to see it.
Okay.
Anxious to see it.
Oz.
Yes.
We talked a little bit before about Oz, and
Another
you got
Disney
an update
project.
on it.
Yes, Oz, The Great and Powerful, which is a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, which kind of gives you the background on
Pre-Dorothy.
Exactly. Robert Downey Jr. was scheduled to play the Great and Powerful Oz.
Isn't that called Wicked?
No, this won't have any. No
the
singing,
prequel.
no singing and dancing here.
The
Comic book man.
prequel to Wizard of Oz. Isn't that Wicked?
The college years.
What's happened is Downey has dropped out of the project,
Yeah.
and Disney has gone to their stalwart replacement, Johnny Depp.
Oh, God.
Yes.
He does everything.
Puts into question his
Man, they love him over Disney.
puts into question his involvement with the Lone Ranger because
Yeah.
they are kind of simpatico as far as scheduling. But we'll see how that's going to turn out. So Johnny Depp is the Wizard of Oz.
Okay. And finally, we've got a little bit of Jerry Lewis news.
Oh, Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis?
Jerry Lewis is
Is he
back
dead?
No, he's near, close,
Oh, okay.
this close. But he has secured a lot of money for his grandchildren now, Comic Book Man, because Social Capital Films. I've never heard of them either, but they sound like
Social
a Russian outfit. They and Jerry have.
Comrade, Social Capital.
Yeah.
He's very. We buy all Jerry Lewis product. He's very good.
I wish they were called Capitalist Pig Dog Films.
He
That would
is
be even better.
he is genius in France with those miserable French proletarian capitalist
Guess
pigs.
what? Those miserable films are about to be remade because
Great.
Social Capital Films made a deal with Jerry for his entire catalog. It consisted the first 3 films in that catalog will be The Bellboy, Cinderfella, and The Family
Whatever you
Jewels.
paid, you got screwed.
The Patsy, Who's Minding the Store, and The Errand Boy are next.
Whatever you guys paid for it, you got taken to the cleaners.
They want to have major comedians star in these things, so Jerry Lewis movies are coming back.
Oh, great.
Oh, with the thing.
Somebody get Eddie Murphy on the board.
Lady.
Okay, and that's it. We're done. We're finished writing. We got no more media news, but you can go to the store's website and check out all the media news that Bo sends me and all this guy's reviews.
Yeah.
And where's the store's website at? Sarah.
You want me to give you the website? I'll give you the website. www.marlshuntreality.com. What's the big deal?
So stop off at the website and check out all of his reviews and all of Bo's news. And until next time, this is Comic Book Man.
And this is David Brinkley. No, this is good old, not just old, good old JR.
Good old JR.
Saying,
Bye! Alternate Reality is located at 3149 West 111th Street. That's the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in Chicago, the beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood neighborhood. You can always reach us at 773-881-HERO or at the store's website, www.myalternatereality.com.
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.